Meatless Monday is all the rage, so today on Simply, I wanted to show you how to make plant-based recipes easier. I have 3 different plant-based meat alternatives: jackfruit, tempeh, and seitan. If you're unfamiliar with the jackfruit, it is similar to banana or pineapple in texture because it's very fibrous. However, when it's cooked, especially in a savory manner, it resembles pulled pork. With our jackfruit today, we are going to be making some crispy carnitas tacos, jackfruit tacos. It's going to be amazing. I'm very excited to try them. First things first, we need to heat up our saute pan with some olive oil, and then I added garlic, onion, and jalapeno until it softened and started to brown, and I could really smell it. It was smelling really good in the kitchen. And then I added the jackfruit. Mine was in pretty big clumps, so I kind of broke it up with my wooden spoon. Really make sure that it is starting to crisp up. You want to continue to move it around, let it sit there for a little bit before you add any additional spices or sauces, because again, we want it to be nice and crispy. Once the jackfruit has fully cooked and is starting to crisp up, then we can add all of our spices, and it's really gonna start to bring out all of the flavors and start to literally smell like pork. It's pretty amazing. The jackfruit is going to start to caramelize, and that is exactly what we want. We want all the flavors really working together. Once it's done, you can serve this immediately on some toasted corn tortillas or flour tortillas, whichever you prefer. I like to hit mine with a little squeeze of lime and add some cheese. These crispy jackfruit carnitas were so good. I was really shocked. I gave them to Kyle, who is like meat and potatoes kind of a guy, and he really enjoyed them. In fact, I think we're gonna start cycling in this jackfruit once or twice a month because it was super good. Next, we have tempeh, which is a fermented soy product. It's very nutty in flavor, and in texture, it's pretty dense, but can also be on the softer side depending on how it's prepared. It's used a lot as a breakfast meat alternative. However, today we are going to be using it in meatballs. You're going to need prepackaged tempeh and a food processor for this. To your food processor, you're going to add your flax meal, tempeh, and water, and you can add all of your seasonings and marinara sauce. Give it a good pulse until you have a really smooth consistency, because we want the meatballs to be nice and easy to form. Once the mix is ready to go, we can start forming it into our meatballs. I just used a large tablespoon and took out a scoop, rolled it in the palm of my hands. Make sure your hands are clean. I shouldn't have to say that, but you know, we'll practice it anyway. Then we are going to heat up a skillet with some olive oil and cook these for about 5 minutes on each side, or until they start to brown. I'm not gonna lie, I was really impressed with how this started to come together, especially me being a tried and true Italian. You know, the meatballs are kind of like, it's like a thing. So these are pretty good. Once your meatballs are nice and brown on both sides, you can remove them from the heat. I think that this is a great alternative to a weekly meal prep. If you're somebody who likes to prep protein, throw this into the mix. This was super easy. I think that these tempeh meatballs would be so good with like a lentil pasta or a zucchini noodle, so you're really just kind of maxing out the plant power in your meals. Lastly, we have seitan, or wheat meat, which is made from wheat gluten and wheat flour, and when cooked can take on a lot of different flavors. It looks like pieces of steak, not gonna lie, but it tastes kind of like chicken, and when you mix it with other flavorings, you can also have it take on flavors to give it that beef taste or pork or whatever protein you're trying to emulate. Animal protein you're trying to emulate. The last recipe for today is our Asian-inspired seitan stir-fry. So we are going to cut and wash all of our veggies, set them aside because we want to get the seitan to be nice and crisp. Now, depending on how you buy your seitan, you can make this, by the way, but I bought it for today's sake. First things first, we want to brown our seitan. I am using a cast iron wok. These things are awesome. I highly encourage you guys to get one if you don't have one. It cooks the vegetables so much quicker. I just used a little bit of avocado oil and I threw in the seitan and browned it for about 5 to 7 minutes. Didn't take too long. And I set it aside and then threw in our veggies to get them going. While the veggies were cooking, I was able to make our stir-fry sauce. For our sauce, there are a ton of different things that we can do to kind of jazz this up, but for today, I have low sodium soy sauce. You could also use coconut aminos or Bragg's liquid aminos if you wanted a soy-free alternative. And then I have some toasted sesame oil, a little bit of rice wine vinegar. Once your veggies have kind of softened up and they have the right texture, I added my seitan back to the wok, gave it a nice stir, and then added our sauce until everything was nice and coated. This was smelling so yummy. I was really happy because I now have meal prep for the next week with all these yummy things that I made. But this was so delicious, so easy to do. Again, a great meal prep alternative for you guys, and I think it turned out great. I'm really curious to see what you guys thought about these recipes. Have you tried cooking with any of these plant-based meat alternatives? Definitely let me know, or if there's any kind of recipes you guys think I should try, please let me know because I'm going to want to be trying all of them. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to Real Simple's YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications so you never miss an episode of Simply.